Hi, this is Jason from Sweaty Hero Comic Bargains, and today we're doing dollar books. And so we got here is Marvel previews, and you can see this is when I filmed this. Spider Man was going to come out. That's going to hopefully that'll be a fun crossover. I wish that the covers weren't all feeling like just pinups though. I feel like for example like this Mark Bagley cover that's kind of cool because he's actually fighting villains. But anyways, I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably check Spider-Man, Superman out. So, as of this video in 2026 at least, basically you can say that it says April 20, 2005 accidentally, but it meant 2026. But as of this video, the Marvel previews usually has this, and it's just like a little catalog about what's coming out and stuff. You can get this a free thing. So always check your comic store to see if there's free previews and stuff. Here's some of the stuff I haven't read yet. Daredevil -1. So Marvel did these flashback -1 comics in the 90s where it was like set before the events of Fantastic Four #1, and it was like a lot of like before the origins of the superheroes. This is kind of cool. This one is focused on young Matt Murdock before he became Daredevil. This is kind of cool, and I figured since it's winter, so when I bought this, it's an 80 pager of Marvel superheroes. I like these Marvel superheroes and Marvel Comics Present type things where it's like an anthology series of different heroes. This is Falcon, Doctor Strange, and Iron Man. And let's see if there's any famous creators here. Roy Thomas is cool. He's a good writer. I've met him in person actually once. Kurt Busiek doing Iron Man. Dwayne McDuffie doing the script on the Falcon. He wrote some Justice League Unlimited cartoons. And not many artists that I know, but some great writers, so that should be fun. I saw this a couple times and I decided to pick it up. It's called Atlantis Chronicles. It gets into the history of Atlantis from the Aquaman stories from the DC Universe at the time of this publication, which was 1990. This is cool. Amazing Spider-Man #1. I've had this many times. I don't know why I got rid of it though. Probably just because I was downsizing my collection before. I'm going to keep this version until I get a better copy. This comic book is Amazing Spider-Man #1, Skating on Thin Ice. It is the Canadian Amazing Spider-Man comic. So it takes place in Canada, and it was meant to be given away by the police to tell you to fight, tell kids fight against drugs. And ironically, for some reason, they decided to do 5 issues. So the second issue continues this storyline and has Chameleon. This first issue has Electro in it. And then there's an issue 3, 4, and 5, and they dealt with like bicycling and bicycle safety and stuff. So I'm not sure why they would never do that now, continuing the number or whatever. But there was 5 different Canadian comics that were about kids where Spider-Man goes to Canada and he fights crime. And this cover, of course, is by Todd McFarlane. Not inside, but and speaking of Todd McFarlane, we have Spider-Man 16, which was his last book, his last issue. And this, of course, is a Sideways comic that he did, and the X-Force one was this as well. And that this is X-Force ended this story, and it's kind of fun. I think McFarlane was a great artist. I wasn't big on McFarlane's stories though. Like his run at Adjectiveless Spider-Man, his stories didn't really feel like they really belonged in a Spider-Man book. More like a Ghost Rider book or Wolverine book. We have some Peter Parker Spider-Man from the early 2000s. I read these. These were okay. I don't say they're great. I don't say they're bad. They're just okay. But you can see that there. You can see the legacy numbering that was continuing on, ironically enough, from Adjectiveless Spider-Man, which became Peter Parker Spider-Man with issue 75, because they called it Peter. They changed it from Spider-Man to Peter Parker Spider-Man with issue 75 to emphasize that the Clone Saga was over and that Peter Parker had returned, being Spider-Man instead of Ben Riley. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I never read this issue back in 2006. I remember when I first moved to Toronto, the Civil War was going on with the Spider-Man comics, not in real life. But there's the Iron Spider suit. And El Morito. For about 2 minutes, they were going to make a movie with El Morito. And he's like a wrestler type villain. That movie never came out. But anyways, this was kind of fun. Peter David writing, and a lot of J. Joe Jameson in it. Atari Force was based on Atari games from the early 1980s, and this is a lot of. I really enjoyed this. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, it kind of that vibe. The Gary Conway and Luis Garcia Lopez drew the art. This was really good. So you want something different of characters you've never heard of, probably. Atari Force was really cool. Here's the Star Trek from the Gold Key era, and this is from 1977, which is kind of interesting and is I would say that it means that during that time Star Trek was in reruns, but the reruns were popular enough to have an ongoing comic book still remain. We then have an issue of Iron Man written by Denny O'Neil with MODOK, and it is really a lot of fun. Really enjoy this. It gets me into wanting to read more Iron Man from the 80s. Checkmate is from DC Comics. It's kind of their spy organization, and it's by Greg Rucka, who wrote a great run in Adventures of Superman, by the way. This was a lot of fun, too. So, a lot of fun is the word for the day. Go check out your local comic store for dollar books, as always, and stay sweaty and find those comic bargains. Thanks.